A story of two brothers. There were two brothers who possessed rather different characters living in the southern part of the old province of Harima, not far from the present city of Kobe. Their father was about the richest landlord in the district. The eldest of the two brothers, who was still in his late 20s, was a loose, easygoing man, typical Slavic, a little bit sloppy, but he was honest. While the younger brother was tight, stingy, and sly. One day their father called them to his room and said, "I am old and cannot live forever, so I want one of you to inherit my vast riches. Here are 1,000 gold pieces for each of you. Now go out into the world and return after 1 year. I will give all my riches to the one who has made more money. Now go." When the older brother heard his father's wish, he did not think much about the riches. But he was happy, very happy that he could spend 1,000 gold pieces the way he wished without any worries. The first place he went was to the village wine shop to drink as much as he could. After that, he found himself walking with a number of pretty women in the midst of the pleasure quarters of a neighboring town. For the next several weeks, he remained there, enjoying the happiest days of his life. The younger brother, on the other hand, was greedy and wanted to inherit the riches. With the 1,000 gold pieces as capital, he opened a shop to sell sweetened rice dumplings. This made a hit with the people, and in no time, he had made an enormous profit. Several weeks passed, and the elder brother found himself dead broke. And there was nothing more he could do, and he had almost decided to jump into the sea to end his life. Just then he met a beautiful woman who offered to help him escape from his predicament. She led him to a magnificent mansion and said, "You can eat and drink as you like and have anything you want. After you've had enough, call me and I'll show you the way to go home." The young man did not hesitate because he had abandoned altogether any hope of this world. He decided to enjoy the life in the splendid mansion with all the luxuries, even though it was just for a short time. When he got tired of the plentiful life in the mansion, he asked the beautiful woman to let him go home as he began to feel homesick. "Good, my dear man. This is the best thing you have ever thought. As a souvenir, here is a magic bottle. It will bring you happiness. If you want anything, just ask the bottle, and it will answer you if you turn it upside down." The young man didn't doubt the woman. As he had no money, he thought he might try the bottle. He said, "Let there be a few pieces of gold coins," and turned the small silver bottle upside down. As soon as the bottle was turned upside down, a few gold pieces clinked out of it, very much to his amazement. "This is indeed great," he exclaimed. But the next moment he whispered, "But I must be careful not to use it for any evil purposes." For the first time in his life, he came to realize what a fool he had been up until then. After he got enough money to travel back to his father's house, he returned triumphantly, thinking that he would make his father the happiest man in the world. However, when he reached the house, the younger brother was already there with a number of chests full of gold coins. When the father saw his two sons, he was immensely happy and eager to hear their stories. "Now that you are both back, what have you to say? Let me hear from the one who came back first." "Dear father, with 1,000 gold pieces as capital, I went into business and made a clear profit of nearly 10,000 gold pieces. I think I'm a good businessman. If you will allow me to inherit your riches, you will have no worries." The greedy son said, trying to convince the father of his keen business sense. "What have you got to say?" the father asked the elder son. Dear Father, I spent all the money you gave me, and now I've returned empty-handed. But while I was roaming different parts of the country and meeting all kinds of different people, I learned a lot about this world. And you may not believe me, but I am an entirely new man with more wisdom, able to tell good from bad, and ready to be of help to you. Now my wisdom is invaluable. If you want gold coins to measure riches, here they are, he said, and whispered something into the silver bottle. And before long, the house was filled with glittering gold coins. And this is the kind of story the elders of the old province of Harima used to tell their children to emphasize the value of good sense, and to impress on them the importance of the responsibilities the firstborn son had to shoulder in the old family system of this country. In Japan, it's normally the older son that inherits everything. I had a sensei in Misakiguchi, it's the southern end of the Miyota Peninsula. I went out to sea on the USS Independence and then came back about 4 months later, and everybody was saying, Sawa Sensei is going to be here soon. And when I left, it was Inagaki Sensei. And so when he came in, it's the same man. So I asked, and his wife's father had adopted him because there were no boys in the family. His wife was the oldest daughter, so the father adopted the son-in-law so that the son would be shouldering the responsibilities of the family. And he took on the family name of Sawa. That's the way things are done in Japan. A good story.